What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Cleanspark today at the request of Cal, and a special mention to Christian Anderson. We're doing some short-term and long-term for you, my friend. Cal, because you requested it, obviously we're doing the short-term for you, but Christian, you requested the long-term as well, so we're going to go over a little bit of that. This video should be a little bit different than most of the videos that I made throughout this whole range, because we don't normally talk about the long-term. We just talk about the next move up. I very much do believe, even yes, with today's price action, I do believe that Cleanspark, actually right now, I believe that it's at a nice area to buy. It's literally at the low of this range. If you've bought literally at this price throughout the weeks and then sold just like a couple bucks higher, like, man, this is the most tradable range in the space right now. Coming to an end. It's definitely coming to an end. We did pierce below the 50 here on the weekly. We haven't closed the week, though, so we have 3 days left. So there's a lot of time left for this to recover, and I think it will recover. If we look at the daily, very neutral RSI, you'd expect to see that with movements like this, so we're going to get rid of that. I don't believe that this will break to the downside. It does appear to be some sort of descending triangle, in my opinion. It does. And if it does break to the downside, let's actually do a quick little guess as to where that would be. I'm not going to draw from this high to this high, you know, although that would technically fit everything, right? But for the same reasons that I'm probably not going to take it from that low, right? I want to have the line of best fit. I want the most touch points, which to me would be right there. To me, the line of best fit would be right here with the most touch points. I think that to me looks a little bit neater. I don't know how to say that. A little bit better. Looks cleaner, right? Looking from this perspective, from this high to the point that we would expect it to break out, if it were to move down, that would send Cleanspark all the way down to about 10 bucks. That could happen. I mean, that could happen. It's possible. I don't think it will, but I mean, it is possible. The reason I don't think it'll happen is because Cleanspark is a behemoth in this crypto mining space, and a lot of the crypto miners are doing well. I don't know. I don't personally see that happening. But let's see if we can make sense out of that, you know, from this relative low here to the relative high. That would put you in your 618, 69 target zone, like literally at the bottom of that zone. So, I mean, that would be fine if that did happen. You know, if I'm wrong and you don't break out to the upside, that would totally be fine. But generally speaking, throughout this whole move up, if you put a line right at this weekly high close, not at the price, but the weekly high close, you found support right there. You found support at this weekly high close, like right there, right? And then weekly high close right there, closing high, not the opening high. On a red week, that's the opening high. So, you know, I don't see us getting below 1190. And in which case, again, if this is an ascending triangle and you broke out, you would stop at 1190. You'd go all the way down to 10 bucks. So, and again, that can happen. And it wouldn't be bad. It would still be a higher low overall, but I personally don't see that happening. While all these crypto mining stocks are running up, I think this thing's just biding its time before it pops to the upside and has its next run. If we look from a high to a low point on the fibs, you went all the way up to your 200 level right there. That was your next high. And immediately you went to your 1414, but the 200 was your ultimate destination on this move here. From that high to this low, you went to your 1618, just above it, and you do like to do that on Cleanspark, actually. From this high to this low, you went just above your 1618 again right there. So with that in mind, seeing the 200 level come in, the 1414 and the 1618, you know, potentially anywhere from, I would say, about from a high point to a low point of this range, 3156 to potentially 44.60 is your next target, with a heavy emphasis on $35.60. And that, to me, that line up there, the 1618, again, just a little bit above it makes sense because that comes into this previous resistance area. I think when this breaks, which is going to be any week now, it could be this week. Yeah, not that you would go up here this week, but that you might start to break out this week. But any week now, you will see this move start to happen. It could be next week. It could be a few weeks from now. You're at the end of this pattern one way or another. And actually, just the way that I had it drawn earlier, I'm kind of curious. Yeah, you've probably, I mean, the pattern's apex is in October. So, I mean, it really could go on for another month even, right? Like, I say any week, but it could be another month, maybe 2 months even, that this area is still consolidating. That range will get tighter and tighter. It just seems so tight already, but, I mean, who knows? I do think it'll break sooner than later. and we are at the 50 area. If this holds as a nice bounce, we might see this happen pretty soon. Again, the daily RSI, that these shorter term time frames aren't going to give us much because it's so very neutral. But to be completely fair, looking at it, you're not even getting close to the oversold zone while you're at least interacting with the overbought zone several times. So I think that is a testament to the possibility, the probability that this will break bullishly. Now for the long term, okay, hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I really appreciate everybody for doing this. I do think Cleanspark's on its way to see new all-time highs, you guys. This is a very bullish setup that you have on the long term. We haven't talked about it in a while, but this is what they call an Adam and Eve pattern. You have a lot of volume coming up out of this. I think you are going to trigger something that's going to send you to new all-time highs, even beyond this high here, which, by the way, that's all the way up at about $150. We're at $15 now, so that's over roughly a 10x from the current price, okay? If you try to buy this thing tomorrow, it'll probably be at higher prices than it is now. So you probably won't secure a 10x based off of that, but I mean, I think it will. I think you will see greater than a 10x even from this current price. From a high to a low, you know, the minimum extension target would be at $101. The maximum would be at $307, and I don't see a reason why you wouldn't see $307. And here's why. If we look at this pattern for what it is, the way that you'd measure this pattern is you take it from the low to the high of the pattern. The breakout point would literally be right there, and this is your measure move. This is your target right here. I personally think this is a bit ridiculous. It's all the way up at $1,800. If we look at the market cap of this thing, can I get rid of that? I'm gonna pull this up. There we go. Get rid of that. Market cap is $3.47 billion. 3.47. All right, a price all the way up there. That would be over a 120x, right? I don't know. I don't believe that this thing's going to be worth $500 billion by the end of this cycle. Maybe, but that's a pretty far stretch for a stock, in my opinion. So while this is the measure move of the pattern technically, I don't think that that's going to come to fruition. But it does leave a lot of room for sure to go above this price even. And if we see that price there, that's at, you know, $150. That's about a 10x from the current price. That would give you closer to a $35 billion market cap, and I could see that happening. I could even see you extending past that. We've seen those kind of market caps being achieved through Marathon and Riot, I think, actually, or at least close enough to that, right? Tens of billions of dollars, so in the previous cycle. And again, with the whole idea that this is a really bullish bottoming pattern, I think that you are going to gain momentum and just continue on. Cleanspark is one of the top performers of the cycle for crypto miners. That's kind of my thoughts, is that this thing will not stop at 150. Probably, I really do think you could go to $300 by the end of the cycle. Could it go higher? Sure, you know, it could. But I mean, $300 already, that's about a, what would that be? It's about a 20x, so be about $60-70 billion in market cap valuation, right? So that's already a big ask, in my opinion. I don't see you breaking through that level. If you do, I mean, to be fair, you have broken through your 1618 just a little bit, so maybe you do go just a little bit through that. But perhaps you fall short. Maybe you hit your 1414, which is just above this, right? Just because I am personally expecting that you will see prices closer to $300 doesn't mean you can't stop at 160. You might stop at 160, but if I really had to guess, I mean, to be completely fair, my personal guess would be between 160 and 307, but technically speaking, the more accurate statement to make would be somewhere in this zone. But I would have a heavy emphasis on here. And I would expect that to happen probably sometime toward the end of next year. I don't know. You know, last cycle, this crypto mining stock topped off right in January of 2021. Bitcoin topped off in November. So, you know, if I mean, that's about 10 months. That's about a 10-month difference right there, right? And when in January did this happen, actually? Let's see, before I say it's a 10-month difference. Yeah, right at the beginning. So yeah, it's about a 10-month difference, maybe even 11-month difference, right? Because it happened at the end of November, where this happened in the beginning of January. But let's just say a 10-month difference. Let's look at Marathon and just see what that did also. Because this is the Mac Daddy, right, of the crypto miners. It has the highest market cap, I believe. That high happened in November, so that correlated a little bit better with Bitcoin. So maybe Cleanspark just had a one-off last cycle for whatever reason. Riot itself also was a pretty big deal last cycle. That one was in February. Yeah, February. So February. Yeah. Wolf. Not that this one was a big deal, but last cycle October. So it's kind of a mixed bag, I guess, you know. Based on last cycle's performance, I think it's completely. Hold on, let me see here. Something just came up. Okay, cool. Yeah, I just got a notification from another YouTuber that they're doing a $50 Discord service. I will never do that. You guys. All services are free. If you ever want to throw a tip my way, that's totally fine. But I don't even have that enabled right now. So one day soon. But I got a lot of stuff on my plate right now, and really those are just excuses. But back to the topic at hand here. What I'm trying to say is I actually do have faith that this pattern will break this cycle, that you probably will, you know, counter to what happened last cycle. I think you will see this continue to build throughout next year. I would assume that the high comes in either like around this time next year or later is my thoughts. So 160 to 300, that's the best guess that I have for Cleanspark. If you guys like the video, hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more. This is my favorite mining stock personally for crypto, but there's other ones, man. IREN, Wolf, those are looking really good right now. You know, there's plenty of other ones. I have a whole, if you want to go look through, I've got, let's see here. Where is it? I've got, man, I've got a whole list of them, and I don't know where it is. There we go, crypto mining. Yeah, BTBT, ArcBlock. Oh man, some of them got taken away. I wonder if they just like became insolvent, or maybe I deleted them. This used to go down way further. BTBT, ArcBlock, BTCM, SDIG, CleanSpark, eBond. There's definitely some missing, man. They must have like stopped trading publicly. I don't know. Anyways, guys, that's all I got to say. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you on the next one. This one is trash. Anyways, bye-bye.